Hi, my name is Mgtow and have another video for you today. And I've been getting a lot of comments lately, and I know there's some aggression in there, but please keep in mind that all these videos, there's tremendous amount of pain that people are going through, but the way that they're comprehending or being taught or understand or trying to understand what's going on is not going to help you. And that's really, the bottom line. It's not going to help you because all it's doing is it's keeping you in your vicious cycle. So people have to break their vicious cycle. So let me discuss this one. So from the mother to the birth of the Mgtow. Now, Mgtow movement at the end of the day is because they're meeting with women and they're having these disenfranchised relationships, and the women end up taking from them, and the women, whatever, they don't even see the men, and women do have that propensity because you got to remember Adam and Eve had a son, and the first son was Cain, and she treated Cain and made the narcissist. So the mother Eve made the first narcissist, and that's what women will desire, the narcissist energy, like close to God, they have power. That's the energy that they're looking at because they're under the judgment, under God's wrath. Okay, so from mother to the birth of the Mgtow. Now, we've gone in the past in my older videos, and I really hope people look at them for the different developmental stages. One is from before birth to 6 months. One is from 6 months to year and a half. One is year and a half to 3. One is 3 to 5, and 5 to 7. So between before birth to about 7 years of age, everything happens. The Mgtow or potential Mgtow, guys had the problem here between year and a half and 3. So let's go over this in a little detail now. The head, the formation of the head begins between year and a half to 3. This is when the child says no. This is where the boundary of the head emerges from the body. Now, I know everybody has a head, but you got to understand this figuratively. Because if you don't understand this figuratively and you're trying to sit there and say, oh, what is he talking about? Then you're going to be willfully ignorant, okay, or cognitive dissonance, or whatever you want to call it. This is the stage when the head emerges. This is also the terrible twos. And the reason why this is the terrible twos, because this is when the child says no. This is when the child, as the head emerges, okay, so imagine if we were going to make a head, okay? Pretend we're going to make a head. If we're going to make a head, what's the first thing that we need to do when we're making a head? We need to create the boundary. So when the child speaks and says no, it is creating a boundary. That boundary is, this is my space. The boundary also is what protects the body. This is the gatekeeper of the protector of the feminine part of the body. It's emerging between year and a half and 3, and it says no. So what does the mother do? The child wants to eat food, and then the child is done, and I'm like, I don't want to eat anymore. And maybe it's still hungry, but it has to exercise its no, because it's exercising its no everywhere. So the child says, I don't want to eat no more. The mother says, oh no, you have to eat. Okay. That means the head is gone. That means no longer does the kid have autonomy. He does not have autonomy. The child now is told, you cannot make a decision about food. Now you're going to be an esophagus. So the head energy has to go someplace. This child, to please mom, has a smile on their face. And when these guys get angry too, sometimes they don't, it's like a compression of emotion. They can't say no. So as this person grows to an adult, they have a hard time with confrontations. They'll be hard workers, might have a big heart, but because of the character defense that the mother did this. Now the mother said, no, you can't eat. Well, there's other things. Now the kid wants to go running around. So now it wants to explore and run around. It's got its new head and it's running around. What does the mother say? Don't go there. Don't walk. Stand still. You know? You're doing something that's no good? Oh, don't do this. You can't do that. So literally, the same mother that takes away the no is hacking off the arms and the legs. And it's creating now a masculine that is going to become a boiling pot, because you see, the spirit is going to want to force that head out. That head has to get out. And it's going to create an environment where the world is going to give this person lots of pressure. It's going to become like a boiling pot in here. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. Okay? As this person gets older, they're going through the rest of their life, or the rest of the 2 stages of development, without a head functioning properly in the no. So when they're in this part, in the creative part, they're not going to have connection to that. They're just not. They're not going to be able to be functional with the opposite sex, because remember, 3 to 5 and 5 to 7 is pregenital. So it's genital. And this is the genital stage. This is when you are going to connect with your opposite sex parent between 3 and 5. So at this time, the mother is not connecting with this boy, this young boy, as a little man. She is still the mother. She is still the mother to this boy. At this age, they're supposed to have more time together, doing things together. But again, he has no head. The mother suppressed the head. The mother's not going to build a relationship as of an opposite sex type relationship. It's always going to be the mother's son. That's the pressure that is going through the rest of the developmental stages. This is what usually happens. This is exactly how it happens. This is how, before the Mgtow happens to a guy, this is what happens. The mother still keeps him as, suppressed son. At this age, the first girlfriend of the son is supposed to be the mother. She's supposed to shift. Now, I'm not saying anything nasty here. It's just an energetic thing. Doing things together with the son, similar to a girlfriend. This is the introduction to the feminine. But how can he have an introduction with the feminine if the mother still has him in the compressed stage like that? All right, so this is how we get to the formation. Okay? This is the mother. Now, this mother that does this, we'll discuss that in a whole nother video. I don't want to get too complicated here, because then we're getting to too many generations. So you can see now that the mother did not allow the child to say no. Okay? A lot of times, the people that usually do this is the opposite of how a narcissist is done. Now, this is different. The narcissist starts at 6 months. But for the Mgtow, or potential Mgtow, the problem is it's called the anal phase. This is the anal phase. And there's a lot of masochism in this. So this person's energy is boiling, and it is overcharged and boiling. Okay, now we're going to go to the adult. So now, the person's an adult now. The person's an adult, and now the mother is being replaced by women. Okay? Women. Now, the woman that's going to be in the relationship with this guy is going to be a woman that has that that has the fake masculine. Okay? So she has the eyes up here, and what she's going to do with this guy is that this guy is going to support her masculinity. Her masculinity. Okay? That's what he's going to do. He's going to say yes when he means no, because the no is inside him. So now what happens here is she now becomes the masculine in the relationship. She becomes the masculine relationship. Adam did not correct Eve. That's the problem. Adam didn't correct Eve. In this situation, he is not correcting the woman. He needs the woman because in his understanding of life in the suppressed, he's become the feminine. Remember, he became the esophagus. He didn't say no. His no was taken away. His mother said you have to eat all your food, and he didn't want to. Now this is painful. This becomes so painful that the body becomes unbearable. Okay? And everything just becomes more pressure because that no never came out. So this woman is taking, this is where the Mgtow guy say about the women taking their resources. They're taking the resources. And here's why. The masculine is the part of the body that takes in the food. Okay? The masculine takes in the food, eats the food, digests it, puts it in the stomach. And the stomach or the torso is the feminine part of the body. The feminine part of the body helps and maintains that the arms and legs can move and then feeds the head. This is how masculine and feminine are supposed to work. Okay? So when the masculine head is in this state, it's feminine. Then in the outer body, she is going to take the resources from this suppressed male head. That's why she's really looking for resources. When these women find these guys will use money and do anything to attract it to them, but these guys won't normally get the attractive women unless they got a lot of money. And the reason why is because when a woman sees this guy, he's not really visible to her. He's not visible to her. Okay? Then the mass exodus. What happens is the pain is so great that the Mgtow launches their head. They launch their head. The head is out. Now, the rest of the existence. Now, Mgtow. Now, keep in mind, Mgtow, in its claimed form, is no women. Okay. Then there are branches of this that explode, and they become PUAs, or they're trying to date. They try and force themselves to become narcissists, or they're red pill. So the red pill. So interesting, red pill. This is you can call it the red pill moment when the head now is born. Now, why is this happening? Keep in mind, at one point, this masculine was pushed down to become a feminine. This is the birth. This is the birth. You can't screw around with people and energy. You just can't. You have no idea how this manifests in people's lives. This is similar to a woman giving birth. When this red pill situation happens and the Mgtow is formed, it is literally launching the head out. This is almost like a feminine launching the birth child. This person pops out, all they do is judge women. All these videos are telling these guys to judge women. The woman did this, the woman did that, she did this, and if she does this, if she turns her head that, this is what she does, this is what she does. Yeah, you're judging the woman, right? You're judging the woman, but at the same time, you're judging your body, because the Bible talks about one flesh. One man and woman, let not put us under. The one flesh. The one flesh is your head, your masculine head with your feminine body. So when you're judging the women, you're trying to disconnect yourself from your pain. This is the same, similar to what narcissism happens, but or psychopathy happens, but they do bad behavior to separate. This is just launched. It's in the stratosphere. Now, what happens is now they have to create a way of getting glory, because they're not getting glory from the feminine. They're not getting glory from the body. They're not getting glory from women. So they create a situation where men are getting glory from men. This is actually in the Bible. Yeah, glory from men. Men get glory from men. By the way, all this is in the Bible. All this is in the Bible. The launched head now has to replace the woman. And one way to replace the woman is the video games. And there are so many guys that make their Mgtow videos and they have video games playing in the background. They have video games playing in the background, which also takes away the masculinity of the man. Takes away the masculinity of the man. This is very painful, and I could tell when people are giving me like harsh comments. They're doing it because that's their pain coming out. But even though they're coming with the harsh comments, it doesn't mean that your position is based on your disconnect. You're seeing life from this perspective. You're launched in the air, so you're looking down at the women and judging. But you don't see that you're not in your body. And it's painful. It's very painful. The thing is, God willing, to get back to the body, you have to get out of the pain. You have to make an environment where your body is no longer in pain. Okay? And I'm not talking about picking up women at this point. We're not going to talk about that. But first thing of all is you can't point at the woman without seeing your own contribution. And your contribution was that you were saying yes when you should have said no. And even if she was attractive and you want to keep her, if you want to keep her, you got to tell her no. Because when the woman gets the no, she senses the masculine. But now, when you guys say no, you're saying no to women. You're not even saying no. You're saying no to all women. When you tell women no, for the sake of saying no because it's a woman, it's like you're saying no to your own body. Because what happens inside the body is manifested in your outer world. In your outer world. I'll give you a good example of that. Bill Gates. This is great. I love this example. So what do we have with Bill Gates? What did he do? He stole a computer program, made a lot of money, and he deals with the computers. Right? And computers have viruses. And what does he do now in his new life? He is talking about this pandemic, and he wants to do about viruses. Virus. This moron is continuing what he was dealing with in the computer realm, and he's bringing it into the human realm. Bill Gates is one of those lizard people. Yeah. He's a lizard person. So he went from computers to humans, and he's talking viruses, and I gotta tell you, or you gotta see this. How stupid is everybody that's going to listen to a computer guy about human viruses? He's got no degrees, and not that I'm saying education is fantastic on this, but he has no understanding. You don't want this guy dealing with humans, because this guy's going to make you eat bugs. This guy's going to do Control, Alt, Delete, and guess what? That's Planned Parenthood. Control, Alt, Delete is Planned Parenthood. This guy thinks he's so smart, but yet you can see what he's doing. Now keep in mind, Bill Gates is also a guy who was disenfranchised with women when he was younger. They didn't want to see him. These computer guys like this, they're creating the environment. They create the environment that is like getting even with the Chads. The Bill Gates people are getting even with the Chads. Nobody's moving with all these things happening in the world right now. Everybody's standing still. When this guy is formed, when this is formed, okay, becomes the feminine, he is standing still. The mother cut off the mobility and cut off the no. This is very painful. This is very painful. This guy will do a lot for you. He's got a big heart. However, he's operating in light of not having a head and not being able to say no. This is how he's operating through life. And then once he launches, now he's heading into a dark place. Because I know the guys are thinking that, it's going to be okay, you're going to get it together. Stop trying to keep this person up here. You got to make your body comfortable so that your head will go back down to your body. The Bible even talks about, though they go to heaven, I bring them down, and though they dig into hell, I bring them back up. This guy was digging into hell when he was in this phase, until the launch. He became red pill. The woman does this, the woman does that, the woman does this. Let me tell you, you want to see how the women change? You want to change the women? When you have inner spirit and you're connected to your body, weird things start happening with the women. Weird things. I'll give you an example. One thing that happens with me, because I'm always about the spirit, I'm always about the power of the Spirit is the power of God. And it can just reach out and grab anything that's necessary and bring it to me. When I'm around women, the amount of times women drop stuff is spectacular. You cannot believe it. When I go to restaurants all the time, the person serving my food, big percentage of the time, drops things. And why is that important? Well, what happens with the woman? The woman is not spatial. The power of the woman is the torso. She is not able to have power over space. She can't park. And she's clumsy. So when the woman is operating in the masculine, and let's say a man comes by that has a lot of power. Now we're not talking about Chad now. This has nothing to do with Chad, because the Chad does the same thing to the woman. When the power is invisible and she can't sense it, all of a sudden she starts dropping things. Dropping things all the time. Because she's losing her power in her head. It's heading down to the torso, and that means that things are going to slip through your fingers. Another thing with this that happens with me all the time, there are plenty of times I talk with women in my interactions going through the world, and if I'm having a conversation with a woman, all of a sudden her legs start twisting. She starts twisting her legs, like makes an X with her legs, okay? So the woman starts she has no idea what she's doing. No idea. She's putting an X, and she's standing like that, squirming around, the body's squirming around. Why? Because the spirit inside me is adulating her. It's adulating, and she has no conscious understanding that that's happening. That happens to me all the time. And it's not like I'm an attractive guy, a great looking guy. And let me tell you, intentionally, you see me in the street, you might see me in the street, and I'm dressed down. You wouldn't know if I had energy or if I had anything or didn't have it. You wouldn't know. I look less than regular. In fact, when I go out after working in the garage in the shop, I might have like dirty jeans, holes, and I go everywhere like that because I don't care. I don't need to impress the heads. My sense of self is in me. Is spirit. Spirit is the power. And the spirit lights up my head, and then my words are truth. This is where it comes from. The Spirit of God in me lights up my head. And you radiate what your head is lighting up. This is what you radiate. What comes out of your mouth defiles you. It's not what you eat, but what comes out of your mouth. When the Mgtow guys keep saying, woman bad, woman bad, woman did this, woman did that. Dude, did you know what you did? Did you know that you're the enabler of her evil? Most of the time, the guy is enabling the evil. So if you don't know about it, then you're a blind enabler. If you do know about it, you become the covert narcissist. You become the covert narc, or whatever you want to call it. As the covert narc, that means you have the plan. And let me tell you one thing about women. Women can smell stuff. They can smell it from a mile away. A mile away. That's why woman kind of represents chaos. You're coming in front of chaos all the time. And the way that you could win in your sense of self is to be in the spirit. You're not going to be in the spirit if you're in the manosphere of the head, because all they're going to teach you is how to keep yourself lofty in the air. You become the judge. Got to get out of this place. You got to get back to your body and put yourself here on top of your body. You have to be the gatekeeper of your own body. The masculine has to be the gatekeeper of his own body. You have to find comfort back in the body. As you find comfort back into the body, this will change your whole outlook on women. This will make the women want to be next to you. And as the women want to be next to you, it's going to be now your inner healing manifesting on the outside. And that's what we're talking about. If you want to fight with me and you want to show me your Mgtow values and things like that and going your own way, look, if the women are bad, great, no problem. Don't be just dogging them, because if you're dogging them, you're dogging yourself. Understand your contribution as the enabler or the covert narcissist when you said yes when you should have said no. And this